You'll be hearing about that throughout the year with the Sacramento Kings.
Are you ready? They want it!
Yeah.
Light the beam!
They do not know what Sacktown brings. When on the low, that's a Sacktown thing. Talking about us, it's a bounce out thing. Must they forgot we some Sacramento Kings. Whole squad going crazy, yeah, we back with it. Northern Cali going crazy, one sack winning. If you doubted us, then ain't no backspinning. This is real right here, ain't no catfishing. So tell me what you see now. Coming down the lane off the rebound. It's 9-16 now. Look towards the sky like the beam now. Tell them like the beam, like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam, like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam now. If you reppin' that Kings like the beam now. Sack crowd, make sure everyone knows. Let me tell you how this thing really goes. Yeah, we travel deep, whether we home or on the road, we lit. You don't want that smoke, we the team of the year. We shaking things over here, don't doubt, we believe over here. We don't bleed over here. And let me just speak real clear, only deal with real Kings over here. So tell me what you see now. Coming down the lane off the rebound. It's 9-16 now. Look toward the sky like the beam now. Tell them like the beam, like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam, like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam now. If you reppin' that Kings like the beam now.
Light the beam!
What's up, Kings fans? Welcome back to Royal Rebounds, the Sacramento Kings YouTube channel for fans, by fans. Fuck you guys in the chat. I just got to say that straight up. But hey, Kings win today, Calvin, 116-111 over the LA Lakers. Calvin, not one, not two, not three, not four. This is a 5-game winning streak for your Sacramento Kings. Shout out to all my guys here in the chat. I'm just messing with you guys, but welcome in all my Kings fans. Don't forget to smash up that like button, hit that subscribe button. Calvin and I put out fresh Kings content, and we are live after every single Kings game. Calvin, dude, we're here. We're drinking beers, and we're talking about your Sacramento Kings. Oh, that tastes delicious. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. As you can see, Calvin and I moved into a new studio. It's going to take me some time to figure out where I'm supposed to look, what I'm supposed to do. But, hey, we got the old setup currently in the new studio. We will be working on a lot over the next week or so, so expect a lot of big changes. But, Calvin, the Kings are the 3rd seed, as Pika House says here in the chat. Give me your first thoughts on the game.
Man, well, first of all, I have to give a shout out to the chat as well. I was like holding back tears reading that as Barry was getting us set up here. I agree with you, man. I don't really know what to do with my hands. I don't know where to look. It's weird to be back in the same room as you, but it feels great. I'm even drinking a beer, so maybe I'll get a little sauce tonight instead. But, dude, I just, like you said, it feels like a dream. The Kings in 3rd place, not only did they get a win today, but they got a ton of losses from everybody else. The Pelicans lost, the Mavericks lost, the Clippers lost, the Lakers lost. It just could not be looking any better right now for Sacramento. There were definitely some moments where you felt worried during that game.
Yeah.
Typical Kings fashion. We'll get into that. But, man, were they committed to rebounding today. Without Sabonis, that's the biggest surprise for me for sure.
It feels great to be a Sacramento Kings fan at this point. It really does. Jeff the Lefty says, don't believe the hype. We got PK here. Guillermo, shout out to Guy, my guy in Germany, tuning in. Guy's awesome, dude. Brian is here. PK, DJ Asha, shout out to Asha. Lane is here. Jeremiah. Lane, you telling everybody the show's canceled? What the F, dude? What is going on here? But hey, Calvin, we're here. Give me your first thoughts on the game, because there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, the Kings won the season series against the Lakers. Like you mentioned, a ton of teams lost tonight. The Kings win, and this was a big win for the Kings. So give me your first thoughts on the game.
This was a big win for the Kings. When I turned this game on today and I found out that Sabonis was not going to be playing, I immediately went, uh-oh. Because this is the type of game, we talked about this being a get-back game for Sacramento, a revenge game, a chance to win the season series. They're on this win streak, and then you find out their best player is out. Yeah. Just a day after we saw them on NBA Today, the NBA Today show, and they're getting all this national attention. And my immediate thought was, is De'Aaron Fox going to be out next? Because they're hanging out, obviously, all the time. They were on the show together. But, man, I just... As I'm watching this game, I kept thinking, like, if I were to explain the Kings to a casual fan that doesn't watch them very often, I would tell them, turn the game on in the third quarter. Because they talking about this during the game. They do this every single night. They come out, they're ready to play, but defensively, they're just not together. They're too slow. The rotations aren't there. They give up tons of points in the paint. They let teams get out to a good start, and they rely on their offense to keep them close. And then at halftime, I don't know what they say at halftime. Mike Brown and Jordy Fernandez must be just giving everybody the business. They come out of the locker room. They're much more ready to play on both ends. The third quarter is typically their best quarter. Davion Mitchell usually gets the highlight in the third quarter on defense. He gets them going. They get up double digits, and then the fourth quarter comes around, and they make it a close game again, and they need Fox to bail them out down the stretch. That's how this team plays. I mean, that's literally to a T how this team plays on most nights. Thankfully, the offense is good enough that they can get it done more often than not, and they make enough plays, and tonight they got enough rebounds in particular without the NBA's leading rebounder to close this game out. Free throws, again, we're a bit of a question mark there down the stretch, but, man, it feels good. Beat L.A.
Beat L.A. Beat L.A. Calvin, can we get some cowbell?
Oh, we can get some cowbell.
Man, I love it. Everyone else around us hates it, but I love
it's got a good cowbell. Ring to it in the new studio, doesn't it?
Shout out to Jose 808. That's where it's at. Lydia is here. Welcome in, Lydia. It's good to see you. Bench Matthew is here. My guy Bouncer is here. Wow, we got a busy show tonight. A lot of people here in the chat. Shout out to Jim here. Patrick, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Digital Henry is here. Wow, a lot of people here. Jeremiah, Sass, Ryder's here. Christian, Lee, Alfie, man. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. David's here. Dude, I'm having a great time, Calvin. Not as good as I was last week, but I'm having a great time. It feels good, dude. Like you were saying, it feels so unreal, right? That we started this podcast, 3 years ago now. We talked about how the Kings were so bad for so long, and at some point they had to get good, right? And just to think about all the streams we did where the Kings were 10 games below 500 or eliminated from playoff contention halfway through the season, and it's like, okay, 30 more podcasts to go talking about how much we suck. It's almost like we're
February, March, and April have been brutal months the past couple of years for sure.
We're in this like weird time warp now where the Sacramento Kings are actually good, which is crazy. Shout out to Mike. Break the streak. Actually end the streak, Mike.
End the streak.
If you guys want to check it
today.
out, RoyalRebounds.com. We got an awesome End the Streak t-shirt, so make sure you guys pick that up. But hey, without further delay, yeah, Jeremiah, I don't know how to feel right now either. Gothen is here too. Shout out to Gothen. Yeah,
Gothen Ben here, as he points out.
Ben here. Let's take a look at the box score, Calvin. Hopefully you guys are liking these new transitions. Still working on a bunch. Oh, that's not right. That's the Spurs game. Don't worry about that. Anyways, Harrison Barnes, 20 points for him tonight, Calvin. 10 points, 10 rebounds for Keegan Murray. Rashawn Holmes started.
Unknown caller.
Get out of here with that. Sorry about that, guys. I got an unknown caller. Wow. SMS research. I have no idea who that is. Well, thank you for interrupting the show. Also, shout out to Lane for the super chat.
Thank you.
Oh, Lane. Lane wants to know why Sabonis is out. Lane, Sabonis had, I think we've been calling it multiple things, right? We called it the Katie flu. Recently it was the herder, the herder hurt, or the herder, the herder hack. It was weird because he was on NBA Today yesterday with Fox. Now it's a non-COVID related illness, so he missed the game. He must have been hurting pretty bad because you know this guy, he plays after everything. Yeah. But anyways, back to the box score, and please don't mind that effed up graphic on the bottom. I just wanted to shout out, we beat the Spurs. So anyways, Rashawn Holmes started in place of the injured Sabonis. Incredible night for Rashawn. I know a lot of you guys. Lydia, I'm looking at you, Lydia. Yep. Lydia's like, oh, his trade value has gone up, and we're going to be able to trade him.
Salivating.
But 31 minutes for Rashawn Holmes, 7-7 from the field, 16 points, including some clutch free throws at the end. We'll talk about that play because that was really, really weird. 11 rebounds for him, 31 points for De'Aaron Fox. He had 20 at halftime of this game, 6 assists, 3 rebounds for him. Kevin Huerter, 18 points. Look at the assist number for Kevin Huerter. 8 assists tonight. That's absolutely huge. And 3 rebounds, 7 of 13 from the field, 3 of 8 from three-point range. As far as the bench goes, my guy Trey Lyles, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3 of 5 from the field. The dude's consistent. That's what he is, Mr. Consistency. Metu played 17 minutes tonight, 6 points for him, 3 points for Davion in 10 minutes. And my guy, Malik Monk, not a good shooting night for Malik Monk. 1 of 9 from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point range. Only 2 points for him, but 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Only played 11 minutes of action. But, hey, the Kings get the win, Calvin. Give me your first thoughts here on the box score.
And it's one number for me. I'm circling it. I'm highlighting it. I'm putting it in bold. 47 rebounds. I mean, that's 6 more basically than the average with the NBA's leading rebounder in the lineup. It was a fantastic effort. Keegan Murray, 10 rebounds, 10 points. You can argue that this is one of his best games as a pro right here. He was so aggressive. I mean, that offensive rebound, 1 dribble, power up, back for the putback dunk. It's one of his best highlight plays, I think. He just looked much more committed, to making that effort on the glass tonight. You'd like him to be that way every night. He was also much more sure-handed with the ball. I felt like I've seen him so many times get one hand or a couple fingers on a ball, and he's not able to really come down with it. Tonight, he was ripping it out of Lakers' hands, literally ripping it away from them. I loved the way that he played, and you got to give a ton of props and kudos to Rashawn Holmes, right? Like, this dude has been literally put through the ringer this season by Kings fans, by the team, in and out of the lineup. It's just... you have to give your hat off to him tonight for being able to play the way he did.
Huge game.
And with free throws being such a question mark for this team in that fourth quarter, for him to knock down those 2 at the end to pretty much seal it, it's the icing on the cake for a perfect game for him. He couldn't have played really, for him, I think he couldn't have played much better than he did tonight.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Rashawn a little bit later in the show. I want to talk about trade value. We know the trade deadline is coming up quite soon, so we'll definitely talk about that. Calvin, here, you want to kind of go down over the team stats here, break down the team stats?
Yeah, both teams shot really, really well from the field here, slightly under 50%, 49 for the Kings, 48 for the Lakers. It was hot and cold throughout the whole game from 3 for both teams. The Kings coming in at 30%, the Lakers at 32%. Yeah, you like to see on the road in LA, the Kings shot 9 more free throws than the Lakers did. They didn't convert on a ton of them, both teams at 77.8%, but the rebounding, plus 11 in the rebounding category and 14 offensive rebounds for the Kings. Again, that number just stands out so much to me. Only 23 assists. You like to see them have a better number than that, but and then the points in the paint, a stat that we always look at here. Can you scroll down for me?
Oh, yep. Not a lot of games you win with only 9 threes for the
I know, right?
games,
Yeah. 58-50 in favor of the Kings. And that, I think, is a really key stat, too, because the Lakers were getting everything they wanted inside to start this game off. It was just typical, porous Kings defense, attack the paint. But in the second half, Sacramento did a much, much better job It starts on the perimeter. Davion in the third quarter again, really, really good. Not giving the Lakers as easy of a lane. I thought they did a great job kind of corralling LeBron, forcing him to pass it out a lot of times in the second half. LeBron will always make the quote unquote right basketball play, right? He'll find the open guy. And it was a question of are they going to knock down shots? And if you play the Lakers, that's how you want to play them, right? Make everybody else beat you and make them beat you from the outside. And the Kings did that tonight. And they were able to get the rebound at the end.
Brian, why are you saying my name? What do you need, Brian? What do you need? What do you need? And also, good night, Gotham. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you so much. So please have a good night. You're a hard worker. We appreciate you. Anyways, yeah, I mean, as you were saying, Calvin, this was basically a grind-out game for the Sacramento Kings. The Lakers, they didn't start off the season very well, but they did pick it up. Anthony Davis was playing incredible. Obviously, he's out now due to the injury. But LeBron, another great game for him tonight. And, dude, I just want to say real quick, Lakers fans, you guys are idiots. You guys are stupid. You guys don't deserve LeBron James. You literally had the best player in the NBA decide to come to your franchise. He had just been to the finals for 8 straight years. He comes to your team. You guys reject him. You don't want him. You say Kobe's better. He wins a title for you guys. You guys still hate on LeBron. So, dude, Lakers fans, they're taking L's constantly. Anyways, they're donkeys. They are donkeys, PK. That is for sure. But anyways, PK, what do you want a poll of, dude? Sorry, we're getting used to this new studio, so there's a lot of things going on here. Shout out to Calvin's hair's down, all that stuff. He's got the chain on. But I totally forgot what I was going to say there. But the Lakers suck, Calvin. That's my point. Lakers suck. Kings win the series 3-1. No more games against the Lakers this year. I'm feeling great, dude. Beat LA. We heard the light the beam chant going at the end of the game. Kings have the best record in California. They're now the 3rd seed in the West. I feel incredible, Calvin.
They've been in first place in the Pacific Division for
ever
3 weeks now.
Forever.
Something like that. That is just absolutely mind-boggling to me. I don't know if any of us are really used to it.
It warms my heart that the Lakers suck. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Shout out to Vinny. We got Vinny Squatch in the chat.
Shoots Productions.
Shout out to Vinny. Vinny, we appreciate you. And dude,
thank you.
Vinny really helped me a lot setting up the new studio here. So thank you so much, Vinny. We appreciate you. You've been here for a long, long time, and you're always awesome. You're always awesome. Okay, back to the game, Calvin, because I'm all over the place tonight in a good way. I'm happy the Kings won, right? They beat the Lakers. But, let's talk a little bit about Sabonis. Both you and I were concerned. He didn't start. He didn't play. We didn't really hear much about him. And then all of a sudden it's like Sabonis is out, late scratch. Kind of weird. They only missed him for one game so far this year. That was December 27th against the Nuggets. They lost that game by 7. Everyone was excited to finally see baby Joker against each other.
Yep.
We missed it. We didn't see that during that game. This is the second game of the season he missed here, Calvin. The Kings get a win against the Lakers. Obviously, Anthony Davis is out for the Lakers. But, you want to kind of break down what your thoughts were when you heard that Sabonis wasn't playing, because he is a huge part of the team. And then we saw De'Aaron Fox kind of shoulder the load for this team, at least in the first half, scoring 20 points. But, what other things? I mean, you mentioned rebounding. Guys like Keegan Murray stepped up. But, what did the team do as a whole to kind of make up for the loss of Sabonis?
They rebounded. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but that's the answer. I just keep going back to it. You're missing not just a good rebounder, the NBA's best rebounder, the double-double king of the NBA. And that the way the game started, how they were getting everything inside. Sabonis has been better this season than in previous years of his career as that rim protector, or at least a interior defender around the rim. But when they didn't start the game with him and the Lakers were getting everything super easy, I thought it was going to be a really long night for Sacramento, obviously, I guess. But I give them a ton of credit to be able to stick around, hang in tough. forced the Lakers to just continue to shoot from the outside, especially in that second half. It was a total team effort. I saw somebody say that in the chat. I'm still a little distracted here by Lydia's comment that we don't need to talk about trades tonight. I was not ready for that one, but she's right. There's no reason to talk about it right now. If they get the production out of the bench, they didn't get scoring from the bench today, but the rebounding was it was basically the biggest reason why they won this game, I would say, because they did shoot well from the outside in stretches, but it wasn't consistent. They didn't hit that 13, 14, 3 mark where they're usually able to kind of get separation and blow away from a team when they're just lighting it up from outside. They had to, like you said, grind this game out. And one of the things you think about first when you hear it's a grind out game is battling inside for the board physically. And the Kings won those battles 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. Shout out to Fred. Calvin, I mean, this is kind of weird, dude. I know the fans watching, they can see you crystal clear. Obviously, you know, I put a poll here. You guys need to fill it out. No more sunsets for you. But, dude, I can see you in, like, 4K right here. Maybe it's 8K right? or whatever. It's a good simulation, dude. I can see you. We're here. Dude, let's cheers it again, because that's great, dude. We're here.
Cheers to that.
We're drinking beers. This is great. Can anybody guess what we're drinking tonight? Anybody? Maybe I should have done that as a poll.
It is not Modelo Negro. I know you guys think Barry drinks only Modelo, but it is not.
Shout out to Fred Dixon. Fred, we appreciate you. We love you. Hopefully you're doing much better. Dude, Jose's got it, dude. Jose, did you watch me at the grocery store earlier? That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Keegan. 37 minutes of action tonight, 10 points, 10 rebounds. You know, a lot of fans would look at that number, Calvin, and they'd say, I want more for Keegan. You know, like only 10 points, that's not really enough. He only took 6 shots in this game. We need him to be more aggressive. Obviously, you know, a couple fouls at the end of the game, like that drive by LeBron, where Keegan, I thought he had great position. It is what it is. But, you know, we mentioned rebounding. What else do you think Keegan's done? Because, you know, like for me, the biggest difference in Keegan Murray, you know, a lot of people would say scoring, rebounding, shooting, all that. It's just confidence for me. Like the way that he looks out there, he just looks confident. And I think that that's key, especially for a rookie like him that has all the potential in the world. You really just need to have the confidence in yourself. And I'm not saying that he ever was like lacking confidence, but now like you can see it, right? He's got a little bit of a swagger when he's walking. I saw him talking some trash to somebody at the free throw line.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something I've seen from Keegan Murray before, at least in the NBA. So what did you see out of Keegan tonight? What did he do? Like, what is he doing differently now? Is he that much better?
I don't think it's that he's that much better. I think that he's a rookie. I mean, I think he's in a really good situation. He's in a good situation in terms of the types of teammates that he has are good teammates. You know, the chemistry of this team, for having a lot of new faces from last year to this year, they really kind of gelled very fast, I think. Obviously, winning helps. You know, you talk about confidence. You're third place in the Western Conference. You've won 5 in a row. You're beating the teams in your own division. All of that stuff kind of, you know, he's had his welcome to the NBA moments. This isn't the first time that he went up against LeBron. Every day, things are going to get a little more routine for him. Mike Brown, again, is totally essential to this guy's development. He's coaching him the right way. He responds well to it. He does a little bit of everything over the course of a game. And I keep going back to the fact that the comparison between him and Paolo Banchero, not the comparison in terms of the type of player they are or their game, but the situations that they're in. This is going to benefit Keegan in the long run. Not to say that Paolo Banchero won't be fine, because he's a tremendous player, but being in these types of situations, winning your first year in the league, having the the luxury of not being asked to do too much. The Pacers rely heavily on Benedict Mathurin. They need scoring from him. They need him to get 20 points a game if they want to win.
Yep.
They need Paolo Banchero to have close to a triple-double every night in Orlando for them to win. The Kings don't need that from Keegan Murray. They don't need any of that. They need him to do what he does really well, take advantage of his opportunities when they come to him, and continue to work on the little things, hustling for rebounds, being in the right place at the right time to take a charge. Those are the types of plays that you learn.
That's huge.
Learning to play winning basketball.
Yep.
That's the difference between the situations that these guys are in. So I think that Keegan is just going to continue to develop and gain confidence in doing those things little by little every year. Give him another off season, some playoff basketball under his belt. He could come back next year and be, you saw the jump he made from his freshman to his sophomore year in college.
Yep.
5, I think, points a game. His freshman year didn't really play a ton, to the leading scorer in the entire country last year. That's what that little bit of confidence did for him. You could see the same type of thing, from year 1 to 2, year 2 to 3, and so on and so forth from this guy in the pros.
I've definitely noticed him taking a lot of charges, or at least trying. We saw him picking up personal fouls, but he was at least, like putting the effort, trying, dude, giving your body, getting in the right position. Maybe he'd be a second late or something like that a little earlier on the season. But we're starting to see, not so much in this game, but just, consistently he's seeming to get in the right position in drawing charges, which I think is key. But, I think you hit on a really good point there, and that's that, this team is winning, and they're developing young players at the same time, which I think is a balance. It's really, really hard. We talked about in a previous podcast how hard it is for the Golden State Warriors to develop their big man in James Wiseman, right? Mm-hmm. They had injuries, but there's also times that he just wasn't doing what they needed on the court, and they're trying to win a title. They're trying to play hard, and, he just wasn't doing that. So I think that Mike Brown has learned a lot from his experience with the Lakers. This is a revenge game for him, right? He learned a lot in his time with the Cavaliers.
Yep.
He learned a lot in his time with Golden State. So he's really finding a way to balance how to win. I saw somebody here in the chat mention we almost have 30 wins already before the All-Star break, which is absolutely crazy. But he's balancing winning with developing young players. So I know a lot of you guys don't want to talk about trades. Hey, we don't have to talk about trades today. If you guys don't want to, I could do another poll. 55% of the people miss Calvin's sunset, which is pretty interesting, Calvin. I did not expect that. But, I think that a lot of people are missing is that this team, maybe they should make a move. I always want them to add more talent. But this team can get better, keeping this core intact, and just developing and just getting more time together, more playing time together, getting older. Got like Davion's in his second year. Keegan's in his first year. Sabonis hasn't even played a full season with the Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox is getting better. We don't really have any, you could say Rashawn Holmes. After tonight's performance, I don't think we have any bad contracts, right? We got a lot of young players that are developing, so maybe moves don't need to be made. But I just want to give a shout-out to Mike Brown, shout-out to Keegan Murray. What they're doing together is incredible, and I think that is a big reason why the Kings are winning a lot of games. Calvin, we got our first caller tonight, courtesy of Lydia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Kings won, yeah. The Sacramento Kings, oh, yeah, the Kings won, yeah. Fox is so fast. Sabonis is so strong, yeah. Coach Mike is so smart, yeah. They are the playoff bound, yeah.
Playoff bound. You guys heard it here first. Shout out to Dirt and Russ for joining in. Joe Smith is here. Josh is here. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Please don't forget to smash up that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If it's your first time here, that's Calvin. I'm Barry. We are two crazy Kings fans, and we are here after every single game, win or loss, dude. If the Kings are in last place, if they're in first place, they get blown out by 50. If I've had a little bit too much to drink, we're here, Calvin. We're here after every single game. So if you want to celebrate with us after a win, if you want to be here for therapy after a loss, hit that subscribe button. You could also hit that notification cowbell, and you get notified every time we go live or every time we put out a new video. You can also share this video, this stream, this channel with all your favorite Kings fans. The more we get in here, the better. You guys can also follow us on Twitter at Royal_Rebounds. Unfortunately, we don't have a Twitter space tonight, but normally we do have a Twitter space where you can come up on stage and you can have your voice be heard. We're also bringing back the Royal family line, Calvin. So we will have that probably for the next show. People can call in. So shout out to you guys out there. All All right, let's jump back here into the game. I'm bouncing all over the place, Calvin. I'm just so excited, dude. Like I'm saying, this is a weird simulation. The Kings are good. What? They're the third best team in the Western Conference. What? That's crazy. So, Calvin, I know we said 5th seed for your hair, right? If they're 3rd seed, what does that mean?
I mean, come on, man. You're taking my hair. What else do you want to take from me?
All right, so we talked about it a little bit. I think what we should do is like whenever it's solid, right, where it's like, okay, the Kings are 5th or better, whatever episode that is, let's do a poll in the chat. And we could say,
Christian's after my kidneys.
do we keep Calvin's hair or do we cut the hair? And we let the royal family vote because, I mean, we're all about empowering the fans, empowering, the people that believe in us, the
That's
people
right.
that have been watching this channel for a long time. I mean, if it was up to me, I'm going to shave it off, dude. I'm going to polish that thing. It's going to be all shiny. We're probably going to have to get something in here to prevent the light from bouncing off your head. But, hey, let's ask them and see what they decide. I think that is the best way.
That's totally fine. Totally
Best
fine.
way to go for it. Anyways, I see you got the chain on tonight.
I do.
Who is your defensive player of the game?
Well, I saw in the chat that they gave it to Rashawn Holmes already, and I like that pick, man. I feel like this is it's kind of like the game ball, right? You give the game ball out to. It's not always the guy who had the best game. In this case, it might not be the best defensive player, but again, the fact that he came in and got 11 rebounds in place of Sabonis, shot 100% from the field, also something that Domantas Sabonis usually does. You got to give the man his props. Absolutely. This is a great, kind of locker room moment, I think, for the Kings. I'm sure they were all super, super happy for him as his teammates, a guy that hasn't gotten a ton of opportunities. This one definitely goes to Rashawn, I think.
Wow, that's big. Rashawn Holmes, huh? Defensive player of the game, the chain.
Yeah, the chain.
Well, we're watching post-game here, so we should know here pretty soon.
Uh-oh, watch out. Kyle Draper's about to get sick.
Unless we're just off here. Oh, my God, Calvin, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But, hey, shout out to Rashawn Holmes, dude. I feel so bad for Rashawn because so many people hate on Rashawn Holmes, which is really, really frustrating because, honestly, everything that he does is to help the Kings, right? You don't see this guy posting. I mean, guys, just think about a couple years ago. We had guys like Buddy Hield, which I loved Buddy Hield when we traded for him, but he definitely had some outbursts against the Kings. We had guys like Marvin Bagley that we drafted high. His dad was going off on the Sacramento Kings, all these things. There's just been so much drama. Rashawn Holmes is a low-drama guy. Like a guy that just got paid last season.
Very, very.
Obviously, he's not happy with his role. He's not getting a lot of minutes with the Kings. But he's been quiet. He's been ready. He's been working. And as soon as they call his number, he goes in. So I think, and I mean, don't get me wrong. If I was in his situation, I would be like, okay, I'm making like $12 million a year. I get to sit courtside, watch all the games. I would be happy. But I'm not a professional basketball player, Calvin. I don't have, all those. I mean, I had hopes and dreams before they got all crushed and damaged and all that stuff. But,
oh, man, let's not go down that road because you're going to make me very sad.
But anyways, Rashawn has been great. I hope he does get some recognition because, the double-double that he had tonight was absolutely huge for the Kings. I think the Kings don't win this game without Rashawn Holmes tonight. And I think a lot of Kings fans just need to take, a little bit of a step backwards and just, don't hate so much on Rashawn Holmes. The dude is trying as hard as he can. It's really, really hard to be an NBA player, not play a lot of minutes, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, you're starting. I mean, when do you think he figured out he was starting this game?
When I turned it on today.
Yeah, right? So it's like, okay, well, maybe they called him a couple hours earlier and they're like, hey, maybe we might need you a little bit more tonight. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you're starting. He goes out there, has a double-double, doesn't miss from the field, plays incredibly well. Like, that is understated, man. It's understated. It's underrated. Shout out to Rashawn Holmes. I'm going to let you take the mic because otherwise I'm just going to keep talking about Richaun Holmes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've already, said or echoed a lot of the things that you just said. You can't obviously understate the fact that they need someone to step up at the backup center position every single night, and a lot of times it doesn't happen. Tonight, they needed someone to step up filling the giant shoes of Domantas Sabonis, and that is a very tall task to ask of somebody. But Richaun did it. It was like he almost didn't even miss a beat. He woke up today and said, you know what, it's 2020 or it's 2021. I'm ready to go. I'm the starting center for the Sacramento Kings, and he played fantastic for them.
Yeah, he did a great job. Shout out to Richaun. We love you, Richaun. 31 minutes tonight. Definitely important. But, hey, we'll see. Does he get traded? I don't know. What are your thoughts? I know we don't want to talk about trade talk, so let's just make it quick, Calvin. You think Richaun is with the Kings after the deadline? And I think that is, February 9th?
I don't know. I mean, as much as I would love to sit here and say that this game preserved Richaun's career on the Kings, that's definitely not a guarantee. I mean, as we all know, the NBA is a business, right? Like you've seen players in much more established positions than Richaun Holmes currently is get traded at the deadline because the team is trying to, like you said, make improvements. But I think that somebody said it earlier in the chat here. I trust Monty to make the right move. I fully believe that. When you were so excited when Monty McNair got hired, you were telling me his background. He's from MIT, all this stuff. Like, we finally have a really good GM, a guy who knows how to do the job, and he's going to do it here. I wasn't sure.
Tonight. I wasn't going to bring up
I wasn't sure about that because while I do think that, I did at the time think that he's a very smart guy and obviously has some great experience. I'll be honest, the Daryl Morey factor kind of worried me a little bit. It really did. And maybe I'm just shell-shocked still from the fact that the Kings haven't had a real general manager in so long.
Yeah.
But I wasn't fully bought in. I am 100% bought in. If he told me that he was going to, jump off a bridge or whatever, I'd be like, sure, it's going to help the Kings win. Let's do it. I'll do it. So I trust that he is going to make the right move, whether that's trading Richaun or not.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to bring up Vivek tonight, but I'll bring him up anyways. Vivek, I love you, Vivek, for keeping the Kings in Sacramento, but there was a long stretch where Vivek was making mistake after mistake after mistake, whether it was shouting Stauskas at the draft meeting and making them draft Nick Stauskas. Shout out to Stauskas out there. I don't know. He's missing threes somewhere. To giving up on Malone too quickly, bringing in George Karl, bringing in Vlade Divac, who we saw in the crowd tonight, Calvin.
Yes, we did.
Half Laker fan, half Kings fan. I don't know who he roots for. Is he a bandwagon at this point? He roots for whoever wins, I guess. But, Vivek has gotten better, guys. Vivek finally realized, I am not a general manager. I'm an owner. I am good at tech companies, building businesses, stuff like that. But there's a point where I need to hire the right guy, and I need to stand back and let him do his job, and that's exactly what he's doing. So do I think that our current general manager is much better than some of the guys we've had in the past, like Pete D'Alessandro and stuff like that? Yes, I do. But I also think the biggest thing is that Monty has the freedom to do what he believes is right, and there's no meddling from the owner, at least that I've seen. The greatest part about that, guys, the best part about that, guys, is that Vivek did that, and now he's being rewarded for doing that. Now, if things had gone completely south, if they had gone the opposite direction, he would have been like, see, this is why I need to be so involved with this team. But because it has gone the exact opposite way, and this team is actually successful now, and they're winning basketball games, he's being rewarded, and he's looking at himself and saying, okay, I'm an owner. I'm a new owner, right? He was a minority owner for the Golden State Warriors, right? Like a little small percentage. Yep. But he went from that to like this overly involved owner, and now he's finally like, okay, I know what my role is as the owner. And I'm an owner fan, right? We see him sitting courtside with 50 Cent. Hey, shout
he's
out
having
to
a
50.
Good time.
They were playing 50 Cent during the Lakers game tonight, at the Lakers arena tonight.
They were.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, we got 50, dude. He's our guy. He's our guy. We got the Island Boys. We got 50s. Everyone hops on, Calvin. We're a good basketball team. So anyways, shout out to Monty. Shout out to Vivek, because I think it really starts at the top. You know, everyone wants to talk about players, all-stars, stuff like that. And yes, those are important, but a really good team, a good franchise starts at the top. And I think that Vivek learned a lot of lessons from the past, and he's finally starting to just empower people and let them do their thing. And I think that starts with Monty. That starts with Mike Brown. You know, we're seeing these guys that are qualified, and they are succeeding because they are allowed to do what they feel is necessary, what they feel is right. I know that was a really, really long rant, but yeah, Vlade sucks, bro.
Vlade does suck. He's got too much Laker blood in him.
That's the point. Okay, let's move on here, Calvin. We talked about Keegan. We talked about Rashawn. Did we talk about HB?
We have not.
20 points tonight for HB, Calvin. Dude, I'll let you have the floor. HB, his bag.
I think all you have to say is that the dude has been on an absolute tear as of late. He didn't shoot, as well as we've seen him over the past couple of games. But again, I think that I think tonight he was forced to do a little bit more with Sabonis being out of the lineup. They were looking to him to create offense. They were running the pick and roll with him and Fox instead of Sabonis in that dribble handoff pistol action, because those were the two players that they wanted to get involved to create offense, right? The other guys, they're the recipient of Fox and Sabonis creating or setting up plays for other people. The Kevin is able to do a lot for himself as well, but he does benefit so much from coming off of those screen actions, or Fox, coming off of the dribble handoff and shrinking the defense in, drawing attention, and then he's able to get an open look. Keegan Murray for sure is that way. Tonight, they were asking HB to do a little bit more, and he gave it to them again. This is, I think, the fifth game out of the last 7 where he scored over 20 points, and they needed all 20 of them tonight.
Dude, he's playing incredibly, incredibly well. I know I saw like a graphic. I don't know if it was at halftime or like in the first quarter. They were talking about like the shooting percentage of HB and what he's averaging over the past few games. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have all the numbers.
The month of January has been all his.
They are incredible. He had like, a 27-point performance. Was that in the last game? It's hard to remember, dude. We're just winning all these games.
He's had 29, 27. He's been in the high 20s or mid-20s.
Yeah.
A lot lately. A lot.
I don't know if I've told this story before on this channel, so I'll just let you guys a little insight into some Calvin and Barry here. But
oh boy,
my memory is not the greatest. This guy over here, he's like half elephant, dude. He remembers everything. There's only one time in my life that I have told Calvin to remember something and he forgot. Every single other time, I'm like, Calvin, you got to remember this. Boom, on it. He's got it, dude. Elephant, half elephant. That's great, dude. That's great.
Barry calls me at work today, and I was worried, actually, because you don't normally call me. You just text me. I was still working, and I'm like, oh, damn, something's going down. And he opens up with, hey, man, I know you're an elephant, so I'm like, oh, God, what the hell is going on here? Like, I need the password for the, what was it?
For the Wi-Fi.
For the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, God,
you
had me worried.
now.
You had me worried for a second there.
Oh, man. Great game tonight by Harrison Barnes. So shout out to him. Old man Barnes, dude. Old man Barnes getting buckets. Dude, he's got that old man game. He reminds me of like the guy at the gym that doesn't wear deodorant and you're like afraid to guard him because you know you're going to get all sweaty afterwards. But he is getting buckets. He is getting buckets. He's a free agent at the end of the year, Calvin.
Yes, he is.
I think he loves Sacramento. He does a lot for the community. He obviously loves the team. So funny, dude, to think about back in 2020 when he's like, I'm not shaving my beard until the Kings make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, global pandemic, they like postpone the season. And it's like, okay, what's Harrison Barnes going to do now? Is he growing the beard out for like a year or whatever? Absolutely horrible timing for him. But what I'm saying is he loves Sacramento. He loves the city. So, Calvin, I want to know from you. You know, I think we should probably hold on to HB. I think we should probably re-sign him. I think he will re-sign. He already did it once, right? We traded for him when he was at the Mavericks. I think it was like Justin Jackson, maybe Zach Randolph, or a couple other pieces. He had 1 year left, played that out, re-signed with the Kings. Did the Kings do it again?
I think they should. This is I would say kind of a golden opportunity for Sacramento because, well, it could be. I mean, if Harrison continues to play this well down the home stretch of the season, the Kings finish, get a home playoff series, the first round. He even has some good playoff games. There might be a bidding war going on for him. But I'm not saying I hope he regresses or hope he starts playing worse. But I think if he, things sort of average themselves out towards the end, he still plays really solid basketball for them. But it's not like teams are willing to drop, tens of millions of dollars on him. This could be a great opportunity because the Kings have some cap flexibility this offseason.
Yep.
They could re-sign him, maybe a 3-year deal, something like that. It kind of gives the gateway for Keegan Murray, right, to continue to get better and take over that position full-time from him.
Great mentor.
Absolutely a great mentor. And, if they're able to add more talent still, maybe even have the luxury of him coming off the bench that second or third year of that contract. And he's kind of, the same mentor, but for some of the guys on the bench, and still is able to provide, 5 rebounds and a bunch of points. I think that it could be an absolute win-win for Sacramento, assuming that he wants to stay here, which I think you make a good point. He probably will. He's always liked being in Sacramento. He finally is on a winning team here now. Once all of us get a little taste of what playoff basketball is like in Sacramento.
Oh, yeah.
I saw, what was that tweet that we got sent earlier today? They might shut down downtown Sacramento because it's going to be too wild.
Dude,
that's a
I'll
real
shut
possibility.
That place down. I will shut that place down
That's
myself.
a real possibility. So, yeah, I'm all for, shout out to Lane because he was texting us saying how much he loves Harrison Barnes, wants him to re-sign him badly. I agree. I think that it would be a really good thing. My question is, how long will he continue to play at this level for? Because in the past, when he was even younger, we saw him play like this for spurts, and then it would kind of die off at the end of the season. Maybe things are different now because they've got a few more horses in the stable and because they're winning basketball games. I'm not sure.
Well, Buddy's gone, but
Shots fired.
That's an inside joke. Anyways, so Calvin, this is the beauty of it, right? And this is funny, right? Because as Kings fans, like, we've never really got to experience this. But you mentioned there's cap space at the end of the season. The Kings could literally go out, sign another player, and then go over the salary cap to bring Barnes back.
Right.
If he decides to stay. And he could have a deal with Monty where he's like, okay, just wait. Don't sign the first few days of free agency. I want to put a couple offers out, try and pick up another player here. And then we'll sign you and we'll bring you back and we'll improve this team and we'll all be better off. I could definitely see something like that happening. And that's crazy, right? Because as a Kings fan, as the Sacramento Kings, you don't have many opportunities to re-sign players, right, to reasonable contracts and to actually have potential to grab somebody in free agency. Now, there's not a lot of good, like, huge name players available in free agency this coming season. Like, we talked about that. But I just want to reiterate the trust in Monty McNair. Every year he's made a deal, Calvin. Every single year he's made a deal or he signed somebody. And a lot of those are guys that were not, they weren't super popular or they weren't like big name guys at the time. But I feel like we got the best version of them. I'm talking about Terrence Davis. I'm talking about DeLon Wright, Talking about DeMontis Sabonis, Kevin Herter. These are all guys that were like, were maybe fringe guys or had fallen out of the rotation somewhere. They targeted the guy, and then they got the best out of them, which I think is the most important thing because, when you're a general manager of a team, you look at a lot of your players like, you should look at them like humans, right? Because that's what they are. But in the end, they're assets. You have a chest full of assets, and you have to figure out how to add more assets to your team. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. And Monty has done a great job in the draft. He's done a great job trading, a great job in free agency. So shout out to him. All my trust is in Monty McNair, and I think he will make the right move at the end of the season. Shout out to Pika House here for the chat. Calvin, I want to talk about this because Pika House is killing it here. National TV games, TNT and ESPN, apparently NBA TV is not a nationally televised game for Pika House. Remaining for each Pacific Division team. The Clippers, 12 games. Suns, 10 games. Warriors, 15. Lakers, 14. Calvin, how many for the Sacramento
That's if
Kings?
they don't get added any because they're flexing out other teams, right?
Like the Kings. How many for the Kings, Calvin?
Goose egg. Oh, I almost knocked my beer over. Woo!
You almost christened the new studio.
I sure did. Are we caught up in the chat here, by the way? I haven't seen that thing move in a while.
Dude, I'm never caught up in the chat, Calvin. That's the problem with being in the same room as me, dude, is you're going to be as behind on the chat as I normally am.
Oh, wow. Shout out from Tokyo. Watching in Tokyo. Always smile. Welcome.
Do you think anything will change with these nationally televised games? I mean, you mentioned yesterday, NBA Today, De'Aaron Fox, DeMontis Sabonis were on. Of course, they're in LA for the Lakers game, which is where the studio is. So, of course, it's an easy time to make the appearance. But normally they're not invited, right? The last Sacramento Kings player we saw in like a big interview was Tyrese Halliburton after he got traded, talking smack about Sacramento. So do you think there's any possibility that the Kings potentially get flexed into some of these games, maybe against a division rival, maybe against a team like the Pelicans or one of these other teams that's fighting for playoff position towards the end of the season?
Oh, I do think there's a chance. I mean, look, there's already teams, the Rockets have 10 wins, right? So I don't know if they even have any more ESPN or nationally televised games. They probably don't. But I think that there's a very good chance. I'm not saying the Kings will end up with, 8 to 10, but if they stay on this pace, in the top 3 teams in the Western Conference, there's going to be, listen to this, there's going to be perhaps a playoff clinching game.
A what?
For the Sacramento Kings. That's right. We're talking about playoffs.
Playoffs?
A playoff clinching game that the Sacramento Kings could be playing in. There's definitely a possibility. I think the fact that you're seeing DeMontis Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox on ESPN together on a featured segment, they were on for like a good portion of that show.
Yeah.
You and I were saying today that would never happen to Sacramento in the past. So there's definitely a good chance that they get a couple here down the stretch.
ESPN's a bunch of fair weather fans, so I mean, at least we're playing well. Now they want it, dude. Now they want some of us. Shout out to Dennis here for joining in. Good to see you, Dennis. Also, I want to give a bunch of people here some love here in the chat. Alfredo, good to see you, Alfredo. Angel is here. Jay is here. Always smile in the sun. Long time viewer. Shout out to you. 209 Tacos. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Double O, I think I said hi to you. Afghan, baby. Oh, yeah. Welcome in. And Christian is here. Wow, a lot of people here in the chat. It's good to see you guys. Hopefully you are all having a wonderful evening. Ricky is here. Shout out, Ricky. Selva is here. Hello. Nice to see you guys. A couple days off, Calvin, for the Kings. They had, Monday off, Tuesday off. We had a couple days off. It allowed us to move the studio. So hopefully Jeff the Lefty's here and he's happy. Hopefully you guys had a great couple days off. And then, you jump right back into this, Calvin. We were on a 4-game winning streak. I was a little concerned about this game after we hear about Sabonis. They win another game. So this is great, Calvin. They are just stringing things together. I said at the start, right? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. This is a 5-game winning streak, Calvin. You know what they say? 5 alive, right? 5 alive. I plead the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth. How long do you think this winning streak can last for, Calvin? Before you look at the schedule, we'll look at that in a little bit, but just top of your head, because I feel like it could last forever, honestly, Calvin. I do. I don't think we lose another game. They keep the beam lit. It's just going to be, people are going to know. You go to Sacramento, there's a purple beam in the sky.
Hey, I would love to see the purple beam all the time. Purple laser beam. But my first question to you, Barry, is going to be, when does Domantas Sabonis come back? Because that is going to play a large role.
Oh, he'll be back
as
on
we
Friday.
all know, in how long this win streak goes for.
He'll be back on Friday against OKC.
That's right. I mean, the guy plays with a broken hand. What's a stupid cold?
Dude, he's so strong.
He's so strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a beast, dude. He is a beast. You want to tell him the story about, last year trade deadline, we were in Sacramento.
Oh, I'm sure you guys have heard this before. Barry likes to tell this story all the time, but
I'm giving it to you, buddy.
okay. Last year, we play Minnesota back-to-back games in February.
Yep.
Right before the trade deadline. Barry and I actually flew in to Sacramento. If you're new to the channel or you don't know what I'm talking about, the two of us grew up in Davis, California, but we live in Maui, Hawaii. We flew in for those two games. We did a couple of shows at Punch Bowl Social right across the street, or across the, whatever you call that thing, Parkway?
What?
From the stadium.
What?
What would you call that in between the stadium and Punch Bowl Social? It's not a street.
Oh, sidewalk.
I'm ranting. Whatever.
Sidewalk.
Sidewalk? Okay, sidewalk, sure. Anyway, we're there for the games. The day we get there is the day Tyrese Halliburton gets traded.
Pavilion.
For Pavilion, thank you. Words are tough sometimes. The day we get there is the day that Tyrese Halliburton gets traded for Domantas Sabonis. Shout out to Mike Monticello if he's in the chat. He was actually the guy that informed me via text message. And he helped us set up. Brought us a monitor to make sure that we could get the show together. It was much appreciated. We end up seeing Domantas Sabonis that day at the hotel.
Yep.
Talking to some of the Kings, probably front office guys or coaching staff members. He ends up playing the next day.
Yeah. Insane. Insane.
Just wild. That's just who he is. So, yeah, he'll play on Friday. I'm with you on that.
The dude is a gamer. Yeah, I really hope. Rodders is here. Silva's here. Welcome in, guys. Calvin, we've been ranting for a long time, dude. We only made it through a couple starters here. So let's move on here. Let's talk about Herter.
Can't put two of us in the same room, I guess.
18 points and a couple beers. 3 rebounds, 8 assists tonight, 7 of 13 from the field, 3 of 8 from three-point range. I thought Herter had a great game. There was one shot late in the game, right, where the Kings are up 3. Dude, he loves that step back 3, right?
He sure does.
He's on the right side. I don't even remember who was guarding him. Maybe it was LeBron or somebody. But he goes to the side, does that step back, misses it bad, right? It might have even been
an air ball.
Was it an air ball?
Yeah.
So one bad shot from Herter. I got to say, that was a bad shot. I did not like that. But the rest of the game, this dude played incredibly, incredibly well. I mean, 8 assists for Kevin Herter. We talked about the rebound numbers, right? Like, when you miss a guy like Sabonis, I mean, I want to call Sabonis the new Mr. Triple-Double guy, but he's so close every game to a triple-double, he rarely ever gets it. But he did get one. What was that? 15. Was that 2 games ago? 3 games ago? Something like that?
Yeah.
But,
he's had more than one this year.
But there's so much that he does that when he is out, you need guys to step up. So we talked about guys like Keegan Murray, right? 10 rebounds tonight. 11 rebounds for Rashawn Holmes. That's 21 rebounds right there. Sabonis can have 21 rebounds in a game, right? He could also have 8, 10, 12 assists in a game. So having guys like Kevin Herter step up and have 8 assists in the game is absolutely huge, dude. Huge. Lydia, have a good night. Sorry we're ranting for so long. We miss you. Hopefully you'll be able to rewatch the rest of the stream and figure out what Calvin and I are thinking about this Thunder game, because I definitely have a lot to say about that. But Calvin, dude, break down Kevin Herter's performance tonight. It was incredible.
Another solid all-around performance. I mean, he was knocking down the outside shot, but I think the thing that really, when you watch Kevin Herter play to try and tell if he's having a really great game, is what he's doing in the mid-range. If he's getting that shot to fall, it keeps the defense honest The 8 assists, when he dribbles into that free throw line extended area, people are all of a sudden, committing to him. He's a willing passer as well, which is one of the things that all of us, I think, as Kings fans have been so pleasantly surprised with since coming to Sacramento. He was labeled as just a straight-up shooter, and we're happy to have that in Sacramento, obviously. But that's an added part of his game, which factors into why this is the best offense in the NBA, for sure, hands down. So he was really good tonight. I know everybody's all stoked about the block on LeBron. I think that's you definitely give him credit for that. But, man, it's the team defense kind of corralling in the second half particularly, corralling LeBron as he's coming down the lane, forcing him, not really giving him a great lane to put the ball up at the basket, forcing him to get rid of it, and also defending without fouling. I don't know how many free throws LeBron shot in this game, but it really did not feel like that many.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to Kevin Huerter's and everybody's help defense funneling him into the rim, but not giving him the right lane to put up the shot and forcing him to kick it out.
I mean, I would look up how many free throws LeBron shot, but I don't even want to show the Lakers stats, dude. I don't even want to look. I don't care, Calvin. I don't care. The Lakers suck. We're good. Let's talk about the Kings. I know you want to talk about the Lakers. I don't want to talk about
I don't want to talk about the Lakers.
I don't want to talk about the Lakers, dude. I mean, dude, we all know the Lakers are so 2000, dude. They are so 2000. They're out, dude. They are out. But, hey, shout out to Brian Thompson here. Brian says, that chain is looking good in HD.
Thank you, sir.
Calvin.
Thank you, sir.
He's not blurry, guys. He's not blurry.
I'm a real person.
He's a real person. And his voice actually matches up with his mouth. So that's nice. That is definitely nice. Shout out to all you guys for putting up with us through this season, because we have gone through a lot of different changes. So appreciate you guys. We are going to continue to get better at every single stream. So shout out to you all. And please also hit that like button if you guys are having a great time, because I am having an excellent time. Bench Matthew wants to know, Calvin, when we are signing on with NBC to start doing Kings postgame.
Give me the contract. I'll sign right here, right now.
Fuck that, Calvin. We're never signing the contract, dude. We do not want to be part of NBC, ESPN, none of that stuff, Calvin. You know why? Because they're going to tell us that we can't say stuff.
Show me the money.
I mean,
that's all
dude,
I can say, right?
They can't censor me, bro. I'm uncensorable.
Oh, hell no.
So, dude, we're going to stay here on YouTube or whatever platform, because we want to be unfiltered and here for you guys, the fans. We don't want people telling us what we can and cannot say. So, hey, we're here. We're drinking beers, and the Lakers suck. So, yeah. Shout out to Double O. You know what it is. Rodders likes the new studio. Locked On Kings. Shout out. Welcome in, everybody. Guys, we're building out the new studio, so it's going to be pretty sick. This is what it is right now, but I promise you, it is going to get way, way better, and I'm going to be dropping more F-bombs, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Calvin, we talked about Barnes. We talked about Murray, Holmes, Huerter. Next up is our guy, the Fox. We talked about the Ox. He's gone.
How have we not talked about De'Aaron Fox?
The Fox had to step up. 31 points tonight, Calvin. He had 20 at halftime. That makes it 11 points in the second half of the game. The dude has been Mr. Clutch in the fourth quarter. Shout out to Ethan. Ethan doesn't agree with me. But, hey, Calvin, tell me about De'Aaron Fox, because he's so fast, dude.
He is so fast. Well, when you found out Sabonis wasn't playing, right, you were like, okay, De'Aaron Fox might have to go for 50 tonight. Luckily, we didn't need 50 from him, but they needed him to have that first half in order to stay close again, so they could get to that third quarter, which is crazy as it sounds. Sacramento has never, ever, in my lifetime, it seems like, been a third quarter team, but this year, somehow they are. Fox was able to bridge the gap to the third quarter for them to build that double-digit lead in the second half. And yeah, he's been great all season long in the fourth quarter, in the clutch. You would have liked a few more free throws from him tonight. Rashawn Holmes bails him out at the end there, thankfully. But 6 assists, 31 points. I mean, you can't really argue with that. I liked his aggressiveness early on in this game. I still think this is not just a De'Aaron Fox criticism necessarily. It's the whole team. I don't know what it's going to take to get this team to come out and play to their full potential in the first quarter. That's all I want. I just want to see them start the game playing like they do in the third quarter. I don't know if...
I know how.
How?
Mike Brown's got to yell at him before the game.
He might have to. I don't really know what... Maybe they should bring in a hypnotist and hypnotize them to make them think it's halftime and that they're down by 5 or something like that, and they need to come out like gangbusters. That's my only thing. I just really want to see, in order for this team to have success in the playoffs, which is the next step, right? Because they might actually win the division this year. They might check that off and make the playoffs all in one fell swoop. So after that, it's how do you win in the playoffs? You can't wait until halftime, man. And I know they understand that. But something's got to change. They have to be able to come out in road games like this, especially against teams that they should beat. You know, they can't rely on a big fourth quarter run to beat the Rockets by 20. End the game early, man. Show them that the Kings are a real team. Point the laser beam straight at LA right from the beginning. You know?
Calvin, I know what you're doing right now. You're just looking out for me and my heart health because you know me, dude. A lot of those close games, I start pacing. I start running around the room. I'm getting heart palpitations. The Kings are trying to kill me, dude. They are trying to kill me. But, I mean, dude, can we show this real quick? I mean, look at these past few games, Calvin. 135, 111, 135, 115, 139, 114, 132, 119. And you're not happy. Oh, it's not updated. It doesn't show the Lakers game. But, hey, I'm effing up, guys. Sorry. I will be better, I promise. But, Calvin, I mean, you're saying you want more than a 5-point win over the Lakers? You want 20, 30, 40 points?
Of course
What's going to make you happy, Calvin?
You want them to obliterate the Lakers. But I'm not talking about necessarily the margin of victory. I'm talking about playing a complete game. That's what's going to win you games in the postseason, is playing a complete game. Not relying on one quarter or one stretch where you get stops and you hit, all your 3-point field goals. That's not how you win playoff basketball. You got to play from start to finish, and it's going to get tougher too, right? This has been the weaker part of the schedule. It's going to get tougher. They have to come out ready to play every night. That's a hard thing for every team to do, and this team's learning how to play winning basketball kind of on the fly. This is a position that very few of these guys have been in. I know Harrison Barnes was on a championship team with the Warriors. Kevin Huerter's played in playoff games in Atlanta. But outside of that, they don't have a lot of experience doing this.
Yep.
Building a lead in the division and then holding on to it down the stretch run. It's going to be really interesting to see how they respond to that, because
Mike Brown's got experience.
He does have experience, and that's why I think this is a good situation.
Yep.
Getting him as the head coach is obviously going to help, but it's going to be really interesting to see, because we talked about it before. Those other teams in the Pacific Division are going to get healthy, and they're going to be coming.
Very true.
For Sacramento.
Very true. Very true. Shout out to Jeremiah here. Jeremiah, you're my boy, Blue. And Alex, dude, from the Hair and Beard podcast, I want a shirt that says, and Calvin, I'm not swearing, I'm not saying this. This is a quote from Alex. Fuck that, Calvin.
Not sure how I feel about that, Alex, but hey.
Dude, that's a great shirt, man. I think that would be a great shirt. YouTube is recommending that I put an ad in right now. Should we add an ad?
Man, I don't know. That feels...
I'm not adding an ad.
Rude to repeat to the royal family.
It is. It's interrupting, dude. It's kind of rude of YouTube to even recommend it. They're trying to interrupt this because I'm on a roll right now, Calvin, and they're trying to stop me from rolling.
What do you always say? We get paid in likes.
Yes.
Not by advertisements.
Yes.
So hit the like button.
Hit that like button if you don't want an ad, because I'm not putting an ad here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay, let's move on. Let's try and catch up here. Shout out to Callum Dees for the super chat. We appreciate you.
Thank you,
Callan. We appreciate you so much, Callan. You're awesome. All right, Calvin. Oh, shit. I clicked the wrong button here. Okay, we're back. Sorry, no more ads. Okay, Calvin, we talked about the starters. We can talk a little bit about the bench. And then, hey, I want to remind everybody, All-Star voting ends in 3 days for us, 2 days for you guys if you're on the West Coast. Because, right, what time is it already? Oh, it's late already, 11. Okay. Still 2 days and an hour if you live in California.
Thanks for staying up late
So
with us.
make sure you guys vote every single day for all-star voting. We got to get Sabonis. We got to get Fox. Even if you want to get Kevin Huerter to the all-star game, make sure you vote every day. Please, please, please. We all need to work together to get these guys to the all-star game. It's not going to happen without your help. So please, please don't forget to vote every single day. Calvin, let's talk about the rest of this bench. Then we're not going to talk about trades because Lydia doesn't want to talk about trades tonight.
Oh, I think Lydia went to bed already, so we don't have to worry about that
We're
anymore.
canceling the trade talk tonight, Calvin. It's officially canceled. Shout out to Ryan for joining in here. Ryan, it's good to see you. Steven is here.
Malfunction the trade machine altogether.
Oh, Mr. Angel. Shout out to Mr. Angel. I pay for premium to not see any ads.
Don't worry, man. We got you.
Thank you, Mr. Angel.
We got you.
Appreciate you. We get a percentage, right? If someone's a premium, like if they pay for YouTube Red, depending on what they watch, we get a percentage of their membership.
Interesting.
So we're getting paid in more than likes. That's probably a good $1.
Hey, that's
it's like
about that much of my beer.
No, not in Hawaii. That's like a tenth of a beer.
Yeah.
Tenth of a beer. You got to factor in inflation, tip, tax, all that stuff. Beers are expensive here, guys. Beers are expensive. Wow, Brian's got that YouTube Red too. Shout out. Yeah, we're rich. I'm rich, bitch. Okay, Calvin, let's talk about the bench. So Trey Lyles, got to give a shout out to him. Other than that, I mean, Metu, 6 points for him. Davion only played 10 minutes in this game. Normally, you know me, I love me some Davion Mitchell. I love the defense, but only 10 minutes for him. And Malik Monk, this was a starter-heavy game. It's pretty surprising, Calvin, to think that without Sabonis, the Kings only played 10 players tonight.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it makes sense. I mean, you're not going to rely. The bench wasn't giving them a ton of production in this game. I think at one point, I don't know what the final number was, but they were getting outscored by the Lakers bench like 52-19.
Yeah.
At one point in this game, not good at all. But if you look at the minutes that got played in this game, De'Aaron Fox 39 minutes, that's way up. Keegan Murray 37 minutes, that's way up from what his normal average is.
Yep.
It makes a whole lot of sense.
Crunch time, dude. Mike Brown is getting more comfortable with some of these guys, and he's showing who he trusts, right? Keegan Murray is trust. That's great. That's great for a rookie. That is great. Did we tell him what beer we were drinking?
Oh, they all guessed it. They knew it was Guinness.
Oh, Guinness. Guinness. Okay. I love me some Guinness. Guinness is,
You like good Guinness.
Delicious.
I don't like many dark beers, but Guinness is a good one.
Yeah. I think maybe, oh, wow, it's 2023 already. Maybe this summer, or I know we have a trip planned for next summer, but this summer.
Sass, we all believe you, man.
This summer we're doing Yacht Week.
We all give Monk his flowers when he plays well, and we criticize him when he doesn't.
And I want to go to the Guinness factory, and I want to pour some beers because I heard it's legit. I heard it's super legit.
I've heard it's great too.
I got to go to Ireland. I've never been.
I'm all in for the Jameson distillery if we go to Ireland. Yeah, Guinness is whatever to me, but
Dude,
Jameson,
we'll go to both. And we'll go to the Bailey's place too. We'll go all three of them. We'll do a car bomb tour.
Oh, there we go.
PK.
I don't know if they do those over there, do they?
PK, I'm going to try this, but it's kind of weird us being in the same room. But hey, fuck it. Keegan
Murray.
Let's see you guys in the chat. Keegan. Let's see how long it takes these MFers to get that.
Oh, they'll get it. Give them some time.
Yeah. We got to do a. I think we're behind here on the chat, but I think we got to do.
There you go.
Oh, wow. I think we got to do maybe like a Royal Rebounds Kings trip. That'd be dope to Europe.
That would be awesome.
We all got to wear like Royal Rebounds and Kings gear the whole time.
Awesome.
That would be phenomenal, dude. I would love that. Calvin, we broke 100 likes on this video. What does that mean?
Only 150 more until we remake the Island Boys video. That's
True.
what it means.
Very, very true. Guys, we're getting really, really close here. Couple more streams like this, guys. We'll get there. Calvin and I will remake the Island Boys video. It'll be great. Face tats and everything, Calvin. Face tats. We got henna tattoo artists here, Calvin. This could be exceptional. Anything else you want to say about the bench before we move on?
Just Trey Lyles was his stellar, consistent self. And Davion was good defensively. They didn't get a whole lot else, but again, the fact that Sabonis is out, that totally threw off even though their rotation hasn't always been consistent. You didn't see Terrence Davis in this game. It's a testament to the guys that, like you said, Mike Brown trusts and called upon down the stretch of this game to pull it out. And Davion, I always give him credit defensively because he is that guy, and they definitely need him. I thought he was really big in the third quarter when they got that double-digit lead. Other than that, this was not the bench's best game. They've been very up and down all season long, but it's still a win. So,
you know what we're missing tonight, Calvin? Fred.
We are missing Fred. He must be working or
Apex
something.
Legends, dude. He's gone.
Must be doing
Fred.
a show.
He's not in the chat. What the hell?
It's okay. He'll be back.
We got to give him a hard time on Friday when he's here.
Nah, man. That guy lives in the UK. He's working probably.
Dude, if he wants to be a
He
fan,
calls in.
He's got to be here after
He pays
every game.
probably like $40 a night to call in here or whatever it is.
Dude, $40? Come on, dude. We're talking about like being a fan of a team, dude. Live or die, dude. $40.
Man, who was it that said, oh yeah, Ryan Barry, you're so hostile tonight.
Am I hostile? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. I'll calm it down. Less hostility. Maybe it's this hat. I'll just get that thing out of here. Matthew's here. Shout out to Matthew. Gilbert is here. Welcome in. Oh, yeah, it does feel good, Jay. Feels great. Ivan is here. Welcome in, everybody. Who's this space guy, dude? Space Dragon Chicken? That's an interesting name. I think Fox should just chill like he has been until the fourth quarter. I mean, I agree with you. However, no Sabonis tonight. He needed to attack early.
Yeah, they needed him to
early,
be
20
aggressive
points
early.
in the first half.
For sure.
I think that was great, Calvin, because, we talked about a lot of the games that the Kings lost this season, they got down early, like big, right? And Calvin, they were down, 14 in this game? Pretty early, right?
They were.
And they fought back. If De'Aaron had not been as aggressive in the first half of this game, I think they could have been down by 20, 25. That's a much, much bigger hole to dig themselves out of. So
Absolutely.
I was happy that he was aggressive early in this game. But I would have expected a little bit more in the end. But hey, shout out to Space Dragon Chicken. Great name. And Neil, shout out to Neil. 40 euros, Calvin. He corrected you.
You're correct, yes. I was already doing the conversion. That's why.
Apparently I'm evil, too. So that's good. Evil. I need to do like evil. Okay. All right, let's move on here. Oh, yeah, shout out to Vlade. You think Vlade paid for those tickets tonight? I mean, the seats weren't that great.
They weren't that great.
You
We
remember last
we
time
sat much closer
and we
next
saw
to him and Peja.
Yeah, and they ignored us.
That was fun.
We were like, Kings, and they just ignored us the whole time.
Yeah, because Vlade's a Laker fan. He's in L.A. He can't be
Yeah.
caught with his pants down
He was
like
a
that.
Lakers fan when he was the GM. That's a bunch of bullshit, Calvin. That's a bunch of BS. All right. Anyways, remind you all-star voting ends January 21st. So you got 2 days left to do that. Please do that every single day. Also, February 9th is the NBA trade deadline. Things are starting to heat up. I know you guys don't want to talk about trades. So all I'm going to say is the asking price for John Collins has dramatically reduced. I'll leave it at that, Calvin. I will leave it at that. All right. Let's go ahead and move on here, and let's talk about, dude, I got to refresh this. I'm going to refresh this thing because I want to see where we are in the standings now, dude. Not 3 hours ago, not 4 hours ago, Calvin. I want to know now. And, hey,
I saw it.
Let's make them wait, dude. Let's show the Eastern Conference standings first. What are your thoughts about the
saw
Eastern
it.
Conference standings, Calvin? You got Boston, you got Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Brooklyn.
Look at Miami, man. They have shot up the standings as of late.
Yeah.
The Eastern Conference is so tough, so loaded. I mean, any of those top 5 teams, not even including Miami, who's playing as well or the best basketball they've played all season long, that is to try to pick who comes out of that. The Eastern Conference playoffs are going to be fun to watch. That's for sure.
YouTube keeps trying to push these ads on me. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Brian, Nas Reed, did he get injured?
I still don't know.
He was killing it.
I think he must have, but I kept saying to Barry, I was like, oh, this is Nas Reed's showcase right here. He's giving me everything I need right now, all the ammo. And then I don't know what happened.
You know the best thing about this new studio is we got this wooden table, which means I can make crazy predictions and knock on wood, and then I don't jinx them. So my first prediction, you know, when the Kings make the finals this year, Calvin, who do you think they'll be playing against here in the Eastern Conference?
Well, like I just said, you almost can blindfold yourself and throw a dart at a board and pick a team. The East is so loaded. Like I just, you know, even Toronto, that's fallen off so much as of late. I expected them to be a much better team, but between those top 5 teams, it's just it's almost impossible to say this is the favorite. I really don't know,
dude. 53 wins.
And I still like Boston, and I love Milwaukee as well. Milwaukee was my pick to go to the finals before the year started. My Western Conference pick is definitely not doing it, but
there it is. There it is, Calvin. 1, 2, 3. 25 and 18. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
It is absolutely insane.
What is this, game 43? 42? 43? Yeah, 43.
Yeah, 43.
I'm not always good at math, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. But yeah, dude, that's looking great. Matthew says 53 wins. We know Matthew loves the number 53. I don't know why. Was it because of the Marvin Bagley ball giveaway?
I think so.
He's an OG. He's
35,
an OG fan.
flip it.
Yeah, flip it. Is 53 wins a possibility for the Kings?
I mean, man, they got to win. What? It's possible, sure, but that's going to be very, very tough.
Yeah.
Very, very tough.
I mean, what is that? 19 losses, right?
Yeah.
So
that means they lose one more game.
Oh, definitely doable. I mean, what did I say earlier? The winning streak's not going to...
I'm going to go out on a limb and say 53 wins is not going to happen this year. But
it's a little bit of a stretch, but I think it's possible.
Well, anything is possible, as Kevin Garnett so eloquently put it. But
anything is possible. Bouncer, dude, we lit the beam at the beginning of the show. I'm sorry I can't light an additional beam for you here. I'm going to set up, dude, we're going to have a really cool beam, so don't worry. It will be awesome. But, hey, the reason I showed you guys the standings is because I want to look at the schedule. Let's talk about these next couple games. I got to refresh it. Give me a second. How's this internet, dude? It's so nice being, like, directly wired in here. It's great. Okay. Dude, look at all that green, Calvin. Look at all that green. No, I don't want to see. That's red. Get rid of the red. Get rid of all. Yeah, we'll get rid of that red. So we avenged our loss to the Lakers on January 7th with a win tonight, 116-111. Look at that, Calvin. 5-game winning streak for the Sacramento Kings over Orlando, 2 games against Houston, a game against San Antonio, the Lakers. I mean, quick math, you add up all those numbers there. The Kings are winning by a fucking lot of points, Calvin.
they are winning by a lot of points.
Pretty wild.
Sorry, a fucking lot of points.
Pretty wild. We gotta, yeah. I don't want to get canceled, so I'm gonna calm it down here. But hey, 5 wins in a row. You look at the upcoming schedule. Friday, right? We got Oklahoma City on Friday. That's at home, right? We're traveling back home. We went on this like epic road trip. We went to San Antonio. We went to L.A. Now we're heading back.
Epic.
Back to Sacramento. And how many games is? Oh, we got 4 games at home. Oklahoma City, Philadelphia, Memphis, Toronto before we head on the road to play against the worst trading team in the NBA, the Minnesota Timberwolves. They don't have draft picks for like the next couple years or centuries, whatever it is. But hey.
The Nas Reed Showcase game.
I mean, Oklahoma City, they're playing great. That guy SGA is a boss. But no Chet Holmgren. They're also dealing with a lot of other injuries to a lot of their main team members. I like Lou Dort a lot.
Yep.
Then we got Philadelphia. I'm a little mixed on Philadelphia. I know we saw them there in the standings. James Harden, Embiid. I feel like Embiid can be better. I always feel like he can be better. And, Shake Milton is there. What's the other point guard they got?
Oh, Maxey is one of my favorite players in the league.
He's been pretty injured, right? He hasn't played up to expectations this year.
He's missed a bunch of games, but when he's been on the floor, he's been lights out for them.
Okay. Well, not in this game, Calvin. Then we got Memphis and Toronto. So, I mean, Oklahoma City is probably the easiest game coming up. And then that is a pretty tough.
I don't know about that,
3
man.
games.
They're playing really well right now.
Are they better than Philadelphia, Memphis, or Toronto?
They're better than Toronto right now, I would say.
Okay, wow. Well, let's look at the preview of this game. Let's talk about it, Cal. This is in Sacramento. It's 5 p.m. We could look at the matchup predictor. Okay, it's good for the Kings. Normally, I don't care what ESPN says because they hate us. But, hey, they like us apparently now, Calvin.
OKC's a game below 500.
We sent a couple guys to the studio. Now, all of a sudden, ESPN's predicting us to win games by 71%.
Hey,
that's
it's a
absolutely
good
huge.
time to be a Kings fan.
I think the most important thing for this game for me, Cal, is Sabonis going to play? And, we didn't even mention Dellavedova, Alex Len, all out. Maybe these guys all have the Katie flu. I don't really know. But 3 guys listed as out currently. I think Sabonis will play on Friday, but we will see. As far as the Thunder, a no-name guy listed here. But, give me your first thoughts here on the game against the Thunder.
This is a really interesting game. I've been waiting for this first matchup with Oklahoma City all year long because just like the Kings, they're a really fun team to watch. They can put up a ton of points really fast. SGA, in a lot of other years, he'd be getting a lot more, I think, talk for MVP if they were, obviously winning more games, but also if there weren't so many just ridiculous stat lines by all the great players in the league right now. He's had that type of season for them. And they can really get up and down. They like to shoot the 3 ball. Josh Giddey is a really interesting player. It's going to be very interesting to see how the Kings match up against that backcourt because obviously you're going to want your primary defender, your best defender to be checking SGA for most of the game, but he really plays off the ball a lot with this team. Josh Giddey is the guy that really gets things going for them and consistently has, near 10 assist nights. So he's also a very, very he's like the head of the snake for this team. It's going to be really interesting for a team like Sacramento that is not great defensively to see how they get themselves set to play this team. Sabonis is a big key for them.
Yep.
That goes without saying on any night. But Oklahoma City does not have a lot when it comes to inside players. This is a type of game where Sabonis could have 40 and 20 if he's healthy and playing because he's that dominant and they really don't have much resistance inside.
Yeah, I agree. Kings definitely got to get a lot of points in the paint. They got to get to the basket. And, I think, I've been saying this over and over. They got to control the pace. When the Kings control the pace in the game, they're a lot better off. I know tonight's game was a little bit of a slugfest. They were down. They came back. It became a game again. They pulled away in the fourth quarter. I know they won tonight, but Calvin, you're not going to win a lot of games like that when Sabonis is out, especially when Sabonis is out. So I think it's key that Sabonis, if he's available, you're in a much better position. If he's not, you really need to clamp down on a lot of things. We talked about free throw shooting percentage, right? The Kings missed a ton of free throws tonight. We talked about threes. They got to make more than 13 threes. They didn't do that tonight. Still got the victory. But over the course of quite a few games, these are the things that I'm looking for that you need to do. They need to limit turnovers. They need to control the pace, stuff like that. So a lot of things that the Kings can definitely work on. What is this? Joe here says, is Holmes on the shit list? Joe, did you watch the game tonight? Holmes is balling out, dude. Check out the box score. Rewatch the game. Great game. But shout out to Rashawn Holmes. He had a great game tonight. Ryan wants to know if we're 5 or 6 games over 500, Calvin.
Well, my math is not great.
Neither.
But I'm going to say 7.
7
games over 500.
7 games. I can't
not one,
fit
not 2,
all
not
the
3,
games that they're over
4,
500 on one hand,
5,
Calvin.
Not 6, not 7.
I can't fit it on one hand. I need 2 hands to fit how many games we are over 500. That's ridiculous. As DeMarcus Cousins say, I wish I had that clip to
We need that.
too.
We need that.
That's
Don't
ridiculous.
worry. We'll get it.
Dude, all I have is this.
LeBron James,
man, nobody wants to hear that shit, man.
Yeah, that's all the Lakers got, bro.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. The Lakers roster, all they got.
LeBron James,
That's right.
LeBron James,
All they got.
LeBron James,
All they got.
LeBron James,
All right,
LeBron
back to this
James.
Oklahoma City Thunder game. Yeah, it's getting ridiculous, Ryan. I agree with you. Calvin, give me your keys to the game.
The Kings have to attack inside. They cannot fall too in love with the three-point shot in this game. I said it, with Sabonis, they have a clear advantage. I think even if he doesn't play, De'Aaron Fox is a great guy to break down defenses, get inside, and score a bunch in the paint. That's how they have to operate in this game. They have to attack, have the same type of mentality that they had on the glass coming into this one. The bench and the role players, I think, are going to be really critical in this game because Oklahoma City, SGA and Giddey have been phenomenal all season long. But when they get the added contributions, Jalen Williams, number 1, Jalen Williams, number 2. There's another guy named Williams on their team. I'm blanking on his first name.
Williams.
When those
it's
guys,
Jay Williams, spelled differently.
No, it's something else. But it is kind of funny that
Jason
they have
Williams.
Jalen, Jaylin, and Jalen, Jal. They were both drafted this year too. I think
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, now we're getting down a rabbit hole.
Too many Williams.
The role players for the Kings in this game have to outplay the role players and the bench for Oklahoma City. You can't allow them to hang around. This is a team that can put up a ton of points. So this is one of those games that I was talking about earlier. You've got to come out and be ready to play right from the beginning, man. There's no waiting till the third quarter in this game. This is a team just like Sacramento that's playing with a ton of confidence right now, has a bunch of wins strung together, a team that's overperforming from what they were expected to do this year. The Kings have to prove that they're the for real team here at home, light the beam, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. You know that meme where they got like the two Spider-Mans dressed up pointing at each other? Like, you know. Yeah. That's probably what it was like at practice. Like, are you Jalen Williams? No, I'm Jalen Williams. Like, they're just pointing at each other. Absolutely hilarious.
I know. I wonder how the coaches handle that. Jalen. No, not other Jalen.
You're Jalen 1. Jalen 1, Jalen 2.
I'm sure they got nicknames or
Or
whatever.
they probably call him L,
Yeah.
right? Like, you're L, Jalen. No, because they both have L's, right?
They do.
J-A-Y.
One's Y-I.
Oh, Y and
the
I.
other is L-E.
So they call him Y.
I don't know. But that would be probably interesting.
Why would you draft two guys with the same name?
You know what's kind of funny is they even look very similar. Like they both have big hair. That one wears number 8, one wears number 6, I think. They're trying too hard. Defenses probably can't keep track.
Oh, wow. SpaceX Dragon Chicken, best name ever, says the Sacramento Kings fans weren't letting Lakers fans pass through some of the concourse. If you were wearing Kings gear, they let you pass. It was getting kind of crazy. Is this a Crypto.com arena? That's interesting. That is definitely interesting. Well,
Jalen is a very popular
my
name
keys to the game,
these
Calvin.
days.
Number 1, you got to score more points than the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's right.
Number 2, watch out for the Williams, dude. Make them, you want 1 Williams. You don't want 2 Williams. You don't want 3 Williams. So only let 1 Williams. Dude, that's hard to say.
It is.
Only let 1 Williams get going.
That's right.
Also, of course, SGA. Amazing player. I got to give a shout out to him. I absolutely love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Amazing player. Let him get his numbers. Try and control everybody else. Control the pace of the game. Limit your turnovers. Shoot well. Get a bunch of assists and make 13+ threes. I think is really what needs to happen. I'm
calling on Davion Mitchell to come in and make Josh Giddey rethink his life a little bit in this one.
Yeah.
They're going to really need that. No, I'm serious because for as good as SGA is, that's the guy that gets the offense going for them. He has the ball in his hands.
Yep.
This is a perfect opportunity for off night. Thank you, Brian, on cue to really come in and take control here. And that's going to
because Davion's going to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's going to have an off night.
He's going to have an off night.
He's going to have an off night. All right, Calvin, I think that pretty much wraps us up for tonight. Anything else you want to say to the royal family out there?
Shout out to the royal family. Shout out to the studio, man. I have no beer left, but I'm going to cheers you one more time. It was fun being in the same
no beer left.
Same room. Oh, man.
Yeah, I had a great time.
That was a good one. Beat LA.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed your evening. Hopefully you had a wonderful time watching the
Why
Lakers
not?
suck again. Please don't forget to smash up that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll be here on Friday for post game when the Kings continue the winning streak against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Want to give a shout out to Young Zell for that intro song. Young Zell, you were awesome. Light the Beam. If you guys have not heard it, check it out on YouTube. Young Zell, Light the Beam. Amazing, amazing song. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you all so much. We'll see you all on Friday. And as always, go Kings. That's my bouncer right there.